Welcome to Running is Bullshit. I'm Amy.
And I'm Stuart, and you're listening to the podcast that loves to hate running. This is episode 172, and this week we're talking about mud and rain, hot date advice, knees, and probably the worst running wildlife incident you've ever heard. Honestly, just really, really awful.
First, let's catch up on the last episode. Mike Gascoigne's been in touch and said was laughing and feeling guilty at the same time listening to the opinions section. I was definitely not aiming my comment at Karen. Karen with a Y. Good job she spells her name differently to avoid confusion. Not great for an audio format, but cracking coincidence on the comments sitting together so well.
Yeah, there was a bit of engineering there to make it look like you were having a massive go at Karen, but that's because it's funny, so it's okay. And poor Karen, I'm sure, has had a lot of shit over the years.
Yeah, poor Karens. All the Karens out there.
Well, not all the Karens, obviously.
Not all the Karens. But poor Karens. I mean, at least Karen's got that Y in her name, so, you know, she can say, actually, it's Karen with a Y, so...
That's quite Karen behaviour, though. Actually, I'll have you know.
It's Karen with a Y.
Leona Batten says, question, if you have a London Marathon top after doing it virtually because it was cancelled in COVID, where do you stand on wearing it? I'm going to wear mine anyway. I think we said race cancellations kind of gets you an exemption. COVID cancellations, I think, is an extra special exemption. That's absolutely fine. And
I said, I don't give a shit. Wear whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So wear what you want.
Leona also said, they sell the dates in Sostrine Green. What the fuck that is.
Okay, great. Thanks for that.
Or did the last time I was in there. Well, terrific. Next time I'm in Sostrine Green... I'll pop in.
What the hell is Sostrine Green? Is that like what's the word? Like is that all over the country? Is that a place? Is it a shop?
I've no idea.
That exists everywhere?
I've literally no idea. I did buy some of the dates that Amy suggested. I found them very, very hard. Flavour was quite nice, but just like rock solid. Wasn't into that.
If you're used to your... Okay, I should have put a disclaimer out there. If you're used to your medjool dates, like the really soft dates, fresh, soft, I don't know what you can describe a date as fresh, but you know what I mean, then yeah, you are going to find these quite hard, but you're best thinking of them. They are chewy. You're best thinking of them like a sweet, like a chewy sweet. That's all I can say. The
sour cola ones were very good. They were just, every time I opened the packet, I was just like... Oh, yeah, sour.
I need to try those ones. I just don't understand how they get the flavour to stick to the date. It's like a fine powder is how they do it, but I'm so surprised that the powder sticks to the date. Every date tastes good. Because when I first got them, I was like, surely you just taste it a bit, like the peanut ones. You just taste like a bit of peanut butter. But no, it's like properly. It tastes like peanut butter. It tastes exactly like they all taste exactly this. What it says on the packet, they all taste exactly like that. Karen Spackman also follows up with some date chat and says cinnamon true dates are, and then chef's kiss, in my opinion. Oh, I don't know. I'm not a fan of cinnamon, so that might be a bit of a no-go for me. But yeah, I imagine they do taste like cinnamon.
Yeah. Well, because it is Ramadan at the moment, that means there's special offers in the big shops, and dates is usually a big thing there, because that's a traditional thing to break your fast with. So I went into Big Tesco the other day, fuckloads of dates in there, so I'm very, very happy about that. I've also got the weird thing, every year it comes round, to do with Ramadan, because years ago I went into Big Tesco and, like, you know, they've got the big special aisle with all the offers on, which obviously they jack up all the prices and then pretend to have lowered them for Ramadan. One of the shelves, or two or three of the shelves, was just massive bags of popcorn, and I was like, that's an unusual thing. Didn't know that was a Ramadan thing. Went and asked a Muslim colleague, and he just looked at me like I was insane. And like every year, quite often after that, I would just send him a quick text every year just saying, you know, happy popcorn month. Because he had no idea. Like, there's always these massive bags of popcorn. They're still there. I went in the other day, like about, over 10 years later, they still got popcorn on sale for Ramadan. But him, and like, he's very like well connected in like Muslim circles in Wales. There's all kinds of, associations he's part of. He asked around. No one had heard of this. No one has popcorn.
No, because it doesn't make sense. There's like no calories in it. And surely if you're just eating when it's dark and you only get to eat a few times, you want to load up on the calories and stuff.
Yeah, and so he had no idea, and I've got another Muslim colleague now, and I've asked him about it because basically, if I meet anyone, I'm like, some popcorn, is that a thing for you? And so I was sending him photos as well of that. So if anyone's got any popcorn leads, or just know if anyone at Tesco Extra is do they just buy too much popcorn and they have to try and sell it cheap? I don't know.
But those, I will say, those Ramadan dates you can get, obviously there's some like regular dates, but I've noticed over the last couple of years they've started bringing out these stuffed dates, and they're a brand that I haven't heard of before, but maybe people do know about them, but they're stuffed with like peanut butter and then covered in chocolate, and I'm like, oh, that's good. Yeah,
I just got a big old box of Palestinian medjool dates. I'm very pleased about those, but they are massive, and as I discovered the other day, I had 4. I thought that's just a reasonable snack sized. That was too many in terms of what was going on my insides and what came outside of me. That 4 was too many because they are like the size of my palm. So there's just something for you all to think about. Yeah,
if you're thinking about using medjool dates as a running snack.
Not in a crowded race.
No, approach with caution.
Please don't do that. It reminds me of the story about someone who had someone fart in front of them and they heard, smelt, and tasted it all at the same time.
No, I would throw up. I think I would throw up.
That's rough. Let's get away from this. Let's move on. Gabby says we should send Amy on a nav course, and if she uses plotter route, she has to do a park run as punishment. Now, Gabby, do either of us seem capable of learning anything new at this stage? It's not going to happen.
Like a dog, like they say about dogs, they can't learn something.
We are old dogs. We cannot learn.
Right. We don't need nav nowadays. I've got nav on my watch and I can barely follow that, but my watch tells me where to go. The satellite's in the sky and my watch tells me where to go. It points me in the direction. I don't need anything else, thank you.
She also wanted us to do and I can't quite remember what that is, but I just know it's really bad, and no, stop it, shush, go away.
No. Andy Nichols says, got a lovely Dart 10k t-shirt. I feel I can't wear it but can't throw it out either. It's for a swim, not a run, so a blinking long way. Oh, a 10k swim! And would have massively struggled. Thankfully, it was cancelled due to strong winds and high sewage levels.
Thank goodness.
Proper BS, like literal BS, yeah. Oh, God.
There's people saying that, being, the Dart 10k, I've not heard of that. Yeah, that was a swim. That's fucking hours in the water, That's awful.
God, did the swims call it like a 10k? Because that does sound like I imagine
there are some, that would take a really long time. I've done an aquathlon before, where I did 1,500 meters in a river, and that took me 45 minutes.
Oh my God!
And that was on the verge. That possibly should have been cancelled. I could not see my hand in front of my face.
I think I did a 15. I think that was like the highest level. You know when you go like swimming and you get like badges for swimming. I think that was the highest level I got, was sort of 1,500 meters, and it was a big deal. Like it was like a big.
I think that's the longest
thing.
like competition event before absurd like distances.
Yeah, I think I worked my way. It was a good badge, but as well, you know when you had badges and you sew them onto your bag, and they were like Kellogg's or something. At least when I was like in the 90s, they were like Kellogg's badges, and all the small distances like kids badges. But this one was like an adult badge. Not that an adult would have this badge, but it felt like very grown up.
I think for swimming, I got certificates. I don't think I got badges.
You didn't have badges?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that was
I went to Cubs.
bit.
I got a fuckload of badges at Cubs. I was an absolute star. I was bossing that place. That was my peak, I think.
Yeah.
It's been downhill ever since. Amy, what have you been up to this week?
Well, I've had 2 normal long runs. You know, I said last episode, my what's coming up next, and I said just some normal runs. I have actually done some normal long runs.
Well, okay, I guess that's good.
They were normal. Last week I went with a friend of the show, Jen Danger Harding. We had a normal run, just absolutely normal. Nothing remarkable happened. So yeah, it was just normal. And then I went with you today. I did 9 miles. Supposed to do 16 miles today, and I was already, because normally I do my long runs on Saturday, but you wanted to do a run today, so sorry, it's on Sundays. Normally I do my long run on Sundays, but you wanted to do a run today, so yeah, and it's not my normal long run day. I was supposed to do 16 miles, so I did 9 miles with yourself, and then afterwards, oh my goodness, it was supposed to be 7 miles on my own. But I thought, I just felt like, because the route we did, we were going up for a long time, and then you got to the top halfway, and then you come back down, and we were just roads all the way down, wasn't it? It was just
Pretty much, yeah.
And for me, it was fast for me. Like, most of my long runs are just plodding along, like literally like 14, 15-minute miles, plodding along. A lot of trails, so like a lot of not stopping, a lot of walking, but we were just well, for me, caning it downhill on tarmac, and it was, by the time I got to the bottom, firstly, I sweated way more going up. When we did the first bit going up the valley, I sweated way more. I didn't think it was going to be that hot, so I just like completely drained all my water. I got really thirsty, and then had to get a drink from the shop before I did the next bit. So I was really dehydrated.
I didn't have any water with me at all.
I know, but my legs were absolutely killing me by the time I got to the bottom. Just all that running on tarmac, and much faster than I normally run on a long run, or on any run really. But yeah, my legs were killing me. So honestly, that final 6 miles was just horrific. And actually, I could have had the option to just do it flat, so just do like a final flat 6 miles. But I felt so shit about sort of this hobbling walking on this flat. I actually built in some more elevation, because I thought at least I've got an excuse then to walk. And also on the way back, at least I can be carried down the hill a bit rather than just having to run continuously on the flat. So I did actually end up doing some more elevation at the end. But I just felt awful. I felt absolutely shit. And I got in the car, and I must have looked like that picture of fucking Prince Andrew in the car driving home. I just felt absolutely drained. That's what was in my head. That's what was in my head when I was driving home. I was like, all I could picture was that, like, Prince Andrew slumped back looking like a zombie. That's what I felt like. Yeah, I probably looked like. It was horrific, like a horrific final 6 miles. I wanted to cry. Especially because, like, I felt like I was going back to the car, so I felt like I was done, but I wasn't. I had to carry on, and it was it was shit. But otherwise, nothing crazy happened. So nothing mad happened. There was no getting lost. It was, the last 2 long runs have been really tame, which is good. I did have, so not a long run, but I did have one of my shorter weekly runs where I went to Chepstow Park Wood, and I do the same loop around Chepstow Park Wood every time I go. And I got to, it's quite early in the morning when I went. It was like 7 o'clock, 7:30. And I got to this bit of the road. It's all fire road. So I got to this bit of the fire road, and there was actual, like an actual fence up saying, "Do not come in." Like a fence, one of those metal barriers, you know, those tall metal barriers across the trail. And it says, "Do not come in, don't come in." And there's all like pictures up of like maps showing you like, do not enter this area, like do not come in.
That's a suggestion.
Yeah, and I could see like a guy ahead walking his dog, and I just thought I didn't want to, because I wasn't that far into the run. I didn't want to have to go back round and like do a different, I don't know what I'd do, because it's like a proper loop, so I didn't want to have to go back to the car park and start. I don't know what I'd do, but yeah, and I could see this guy walking his dog, so I thought, I'll just, it's early. I don't think they're doing anything right now. So I carried on running, and I got level with this guy, and I said, "Oh, is there anything up ahead? Like, I can see it's closed." And he's like, "Oh no, there's just a few trees that have come down, but there's, you know, it's fine." But I think he'd come in from the car park. There's like a little car park a bit further on, so I think he'd come in from there. So I was like, great, carried on. Went past the little car park. Yep, there were some trees down. Carried on a bit, and then I hear machinery. I hear machinery and trees being cut down. I looked at my watch, and it was like just after 8, and I'm like, I could hear like, and then I could see it, and I carried on running, and I could see the machinery. I could see the big digger things, the forestry people basically, and I could see them moving, and I'm like, shit. I'm on a trail. There's not just sort of a signpost up saying it's closed. It is that there's barriers in place saying do not come in here, like loads of like signs, do not come in here. I was thinking, I'm either gonna get squashed by a tree that they're cutting down, or somebody's gonna really shout at me, and I think I'd rather get squashed by a tree because I don't like getting shouted at, but either one wasn't good. So I think I did the fastest section I've ever done on that bit. I think I actually got a PR. There's like there's a segment where I was running where I saw like them all working on top of this hill. I think I got like a PR on that segment because I just ran. And I was on the phone to Freya at the time, and I'm like, I just need to see another fence. I just need to see the other side of this closure. I just need to see it. And I was like sprinting along this segment. I did get to the other side of the closure like eventually. And I was getting closer and closer to this other barrier, and I could see the signs, and I'm thinking, I hope those signs aren't facing me. I hope I'm not somehow going back into the closure or something. But luckily they weren't, so I managed to make it out. But yeah, it was you know when you're in like a forest and you see the signs up like, we're doing forestry work, do not come down this pathway. And 9 times out of 10 it's fine. They were actually doing the work. They were cutting trees down. And I was just sprinting through there, like just absolutely for my life. Pippin in tow. Pippin's trying to sniff and I'm like, no, keep going, keep running. Like Jumanji or something, all the trees falling behind me as I ran. So yeah. So another example of when the trail is closed, not only like when there's a sign up saying the trail's closed, but when there's full on barriers keeping you out, don't run across it, you know?
We did come across some signs today, but they were just warning signs. So we were like, that's fine. A warning sign is fine. That's just nothing to worry about. We don't care about that. And
it was okay. Nothing compares to what I've been through the last few weeks, so it was absolutely tame in comparison.
Yeah, you're kind of trauma stunned by a lot of things now, so these things just don't really affect you. You're kind of numb to it all now. Yeah,
you were laughing because I was just like walking through stuff and getting my feet wet. Like, I do not care anymore. I will just walk through rivers, I'll walk through mud, I don't care. Like, nothing compares to what happened to me.
It was a bit muddy today, but it was doable to kind of keep reasonably dry. So I was kind of hopping over the puddles and doing some jumps and going around the mud and things like that. And you were just like, as soon as we started, just slopping straight through the middle of them. Yeah. You couldn't be bothered. I was like, good for you.
Yeah.
You stopped giving a shit. You're just like, I'm just going to get wet. Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I respected that.
Thanks. What have you been up to?
Well, there was that run as well. I did do a little bit of light trespassing on that run. There was there's a little waterfall that was, it had a path and it's kind of steps down to it, but it was closed off either end with a big fence, but the fence didn't really cover anything, so you could just go around it. I assume just because there'd been some landslips or something there was kind of a steps down the side of a cliff with no barrier on the side. I'm like, yeah, that was fine. So I had a little wander down there, saw the waterfall, it was fine, but don't care. Nothing keeps me out because I'm rogue or something. Don't know. So we did that run. It was very nice. I did 14k of that with you. That is the longest run I've done since July. So in 7 months, I have not run further than that, and that's like your shortest long run you've done in about that time as well. So we're on very different trajectories at the moment.
But the first half was just walking. We were literally going.
Oh yeah, it was a stroll up through the woods.
The whole first half was just up.
If they got to a slight hill, I was like, let's go. Oh no, Amy's. And occasionally I do like the way that you would like it flatten off a little bit, and you start to run, and your transition back to walking was quite subtle, but it did not take long.
No.
You start to jog, and within about 10 seconds, and we're walking. Yeah. Okay, fine, we're just walking again. Okay.
It's a hill. I'm not running any hills.
It's a lovely stroll. We found a lovely trig in the middle of the woods, and it was good. It was a very nice run. I also worked on my first race of the year, which was an absolute mudfest, the Caerphilly Trail 10k and 5k with Ridge Runners. Had a very good time just laughing at people covered in mud, because I ended up, I set up the checkpoint and then I ended up kind of marshalling for most of it at one point. And people were coming down absolutely. A few people were covered head to toe. They must have fallen. And just like this woman covered, and like half her face was covered in mud. And I was kind of pointing, you've just got a little something on there. She goes, is there a little something? Yeah, that's it. So I was doing that, and there was some very good dogs, people running with I think about 20 Canicross runners, which was really good. Oh God, but some really long-haired dogs that were just absolutely filthy. So I was laughing at some of those that went past. And it was just one of those ones, it was so muddy, people just kind of couldn't help but enjoy it. Everyone was very happy. It's a very kind of beginnery type race. So there's a lot of people were just quite stunned by it. You could tell their first ever trail race, they had no idea things would be like that, and they would have to be muddy and run through streams. So it was very, very funny. To watch all that. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. We will talk a little bit more about that later on. Now, if you want to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/runningisbullshit, donating some money to us every month. If you want. No one new has done that recently. Great. Here's Amy singing the names of everyone that has.
AP, Raymond Quinn, Sherry Grubbs, Tara Milligan, Tandra Hines, Larry Warren, Gemma Roberts, Debbie Hurley, Julia Page, Graham Hackland, Kath Everett, Matt Kinzowski, Matt H, Victoria Cousins, Maria the shebang roof, KB David Owen, acoustic car, Rick Stein, Steve Robson, Brian Simpson, Matt Jones, Paul Hibbert, Charlie Neverson, Tony Bates, Matt Moran, Joe Seal, Rachel Bentley, Len Martin, Andrew Foster Swales, Jenny Tennessee, Jason Springs, Drew Edwards, Ian Hale, H. Samantha Lachlan, David Teacher, Pat Williams, Stuart Stevens, Elizabeth Reese. Amanda Murray Hyde, Alice Newstead, Abby Nichols, Derry, Martin Kaplan, Luther King, Matt Garner, Neil Denton, Christopher Hopper, Victoria Dean, Ian Thompson, Matt Gascoigne, Spencer Aldred, Rachel Bullmore, Cheryl Cohen, Abigail Hardman, Lisa Gibbs and Kevin Starr, Francis Howe, Fergus Bilby, Karen Blake, Tom Alcock, Bob.
Don't forget to get in touch with your Running Bullshit on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Just search Running is BS. Let us know what you particularly hate running this week. Please feed the beast. First of all, we've got a dark confession from Sherry Grubbs, who says, I lied to my own father by omission. I had posted my first place in age and gender for a 5-mile race, and my mum told him about it. He asked how many ran in my category that day. I said I didn't know, but I knew. Just me. I was the only one that day. Good for you.
I think
There's
he was
nothing
kind of
wrong with
onto
that.
it, the fact he asked. He didn't even say like, oh wow, well done. He was like, how many ran though?
Yeah, I feel like if that's the first question they ask, I don't think they believe in you.
Out of how
I don't
many?
think there's nothing wrong with that. You can be proud of it and you can tell people that as well. I've told literally everyone I've ever met I am the Welsh 3,000 metre champion in my age category, but I always follow up telling them because they're kind of impressed by that, and I immediately then burst that bubble by saying I was the only one in the race, because I just think it's much, much funnier. It's literally, if you remember Twitter, that's the thing. It's in my bio on that. I'm the Welsh 3,000 metre champion in my age category. I have a gold, a silver and 2 bronzes for national level age category races, but in each of those I also finished last. So I've been 1 out of 1, 2 out of 2 and 3 out of 3 twice, because you got to be in it, you know?
Yeah.
You got to be there. I can only
it.
beat what's put in front of me. I can't help it if people don't turn up, if they're scared.
That's half the battle, isn't it, though, you know?
Absolutely. That's
won
what it's
that
all
day.
about. Good for you, Sherry. Be proud of that.
Adrian Grimshaw said, running on a cruise ship is BS. 5 laps to do 1 kilometre. Oh my God.
Oof.
Fecking Americans walking around the running track. It's 27 degrees at 7 a.m. and my ankle hurts from dodging all the Americans. Did I mention them already? I'm sure this won't gather much sympathy, so at least the bar is open.
Excellent. I did check. Did he get a the cool Strava map of like the twirly line? But I think it's because it's such a short track, it didn't quite work out. And he's just posted it here actually. So he's got a little bit of twirly moving out of port, but I think as the ship speeds up, it just kind of stretches into a straight line.
He was straight on the track as soon as the ship was going out of the port.
Well, because you're running in a circle, but the ship is moving at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, like the timing of it, he was straight down there.
So it stretches that line out into a line rather than kind of circles. But I've seen some really cool ones where you do to see like the ship's going very, very slowly and you kind of get these loops out to sea, and that's very fun.
You wouldn't. I mean, I'm not a fan of cruises. I've never been on a cruise, but I just not.
I don't like them.
But
I don't know what it is, but I don't like it.
No, I think it's the food poisoning. But being stuck on a cruise with Americans, yeah, I feel like that's worse than food poisoning in a way.
Yeah, hopefully you've got like a free bar or something there, or at least a buffet or something like that, in which case just get stuck into that. Don't worry about running, it's fine. That's not what cruises are for.
Yeah.
Lucy Amos says, thinking I might have injured my knee, but being totally certain I won't make a physio appointment to find out, and will definitely keep running on it until it either gets better or much, much worse. It'll probably get better. It'll be fine.
Yeah, you don't need a physio.
What's
know
a physio
your
gonna tell
body.
you? Exactly.
Just be intuitive with it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the physio, you're not going to listen to him anyway.
No, and they charge you like 45 quid to go and say, oh, just have a stretch. Nah, waste of money. Quackery.
Yeah, exactly.
Kat Curran says, bloody injuries. Got my knee sorted, but 3 physios on my knee highlighted a back/hip issue which flared up. Started working on that, and the original problem, calf tenderness, has reared its head. See?
That's what we said. You go to a physio, they find more problems. They go poking around. They go poking around, they look for problems. Oh, look, now you've got a hip problem as well. Didn't have that before, did you?
Well, they're jabbing you in the hip.
Exactly. It's absolute scam. Anthony Howe says, I wronged myself by trying to catch up to a group of runners on a long run last week, all the while forgetting I'm a couple of stone heavier than when I was about 10 kilograms over my target running weight. Also, it's depressingly cold outside, so my running window is quite narrow. Roll on summer, or at least the warm part of spring. Yeah, hopefully you're not busy that weekend in spring when it's warm.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're saying that your running window is quite narrow. You're trying to run in line with the weather. That's never going to work.
No, you've just got to accept it and move on. But yeah, picking a stranger to race is always a really bad idea. I've done it in races, I've done it in park runs too many times, and it's a very silly idea. Just you look at something and think, yeah, I'm going to beat them, and like you've got no idea who they are. You've got no idea if they're running fast or not. It's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. The worst thing is when I'm with Pippin just doing a normal run, and if we have to sort of overtake someone, because usually it's worse when you feel like you're pretty much the same speed, but obviously you don't want to run next to them, so you've just sort of got to overtake them, and then Pippin will stop and have a sniff, and then they overtake me, and then I carry on running, and then I overtake them, and that's always a bit awkward. I had a woman the other day, I overtook her with Pippin, and she's like, I'm just recovering from a cold, like that. Like, it's okay. I'm not judging.
And of course with the Canicross harness, it takes ages to overtake someone as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're about 2 or 3 meters long, so it takes a long while to get past.
Yeah. Speaking of weather, Danny Norman says, the rain! Parkrun tourism is made difficult with all the cancellations, a first world problem of the highest order, and my body, for it is old, chonk, and decrepit.
Oh, that's very sad.
But yeah, we won't talk about the rain, but also we will talk about the rain, because what day are we on of it raining every day? Literally every day.
I mean, I feel that's pretty normal, isn't it, for January and February? Doesn't it always rain in January and February?
Not every day. Not every single bloody day.
But you know what? I've heard a lot of people complain about this, and all these people do not have dogs. And it's so much worse when you have a dog, because everything is muddy. We're in just muddy paw season is on steroids this year. Everything is muddy. My floors are always dirty. I'm having to wash towels constantly.
Yeah. Like,
if you've got a dog, you need to walk multiple times a day. It's so much worse than people just being like, oh, it's raining. Mm-hmm. You don't care. You're only walking between your house and your car. Shut up. I know says, my children, lol, they keep bringing all kinds of illnesses home with them. I'm constantly sick. Just recovered from over a week of non-stop 40-degree fever. Oh, I'm already behind on my training schedule for the summer. So I guess children are BS? Yes, they are. Also, I haven't had time to listen to your podcast much recently, but I hope you're doing well and keeping up with the BS. That's from I know, which is AP on the Patreon. And she says, I think I'm still a Patreon, but I need to check. Yeah, yes, you are. Thank you for giving us money but not listening. That's great for us.
Well, maybe they need to cancel. They're like, I think I'm still a Patreon. I really should cancel that.
Oh, perhaps we shouldn't mention it because
yeah.
And then there's plenty of people on there who just have been meaning to cancel and they haven't got around to it, and that's doing very well. That's doing very well for us. That's like the AOL business model.
Yeah, every month they see that £1 or whatever go out, and they're like,
I feel like AOL. I'm sure I read something like even like 2010, they were still making millions off dial-up contracts that people didn't have for 10 years.
Yeah. I remember Freya signed me up for PlayStation Plus, like where you can play PlayStation online. Like I asked her to just sign me up, but I think she got my birthday wrong or something in it, and I could not get into the account to cancel it. So every month it was taking £7 out, and the only time it stopped was when my card details were stolen and I had to get a new card. I'm like, thank fuck, because that would have been for the next 4 years. I would have been paying £7 a month to PlayStation Plus because you put my birthday in wrong, and I couldn't work out. I was trying like multiple different versions of my, and she must have put it in so wrong. Because I was like, oh, maybe she thought like the day was wrong or the month was like, but no, it must have been completely wrong. And then it got to the stage where they wouldn't let me try again. Like they were locking me out of my account. So yeah, but luckily my card details were stolen.
Oh, good.
My card details were stolen on my birthday last year.
Well,
So, yeah, that's
coincidence. Probably, yeah.
I think not. It's just that person I hired to steal my card details. I stopped paying £7 to PlayStation. Anyway, Kat Williams says having high arches and lymphedema. Is that how we say it? Probably. I don't know. In one foot is BS because it's hard to find shoes deep enough to fit. It's hard to find deep enough shoes. You don't hear that described much, do you? Wide shoes, but
the depth of your shoes.
The depth of your shoes.
How deep are your shoes?
How deep are your shoes? Your shoes. What's more
really
BS?
Need to know.
What's more BS is when you find a shoe that fits your foot, like 2 meters deep in the deep end of the foot, and the deep end of the shoe.
Knee,
yeah. And then they go and change something fundamental about it. Looking at you, Hoka Clifton, with your drop changing from 5 millimeters to 8 millimeters. I hate that. I hate when you have a shoe and it's perfect, and then they just fuck it up in some way. It's like, bring out a new shoe. That's not the shoe anymore. Bring out a different model because that is no longer the shoe.
Yeah, Saucony Ride's also all over the place, the last few models.
And then the only trail shoe I've found that properly fits my foot and orthotics is the Hoka Speed Goat, which isn't called the Slip Goat for nothing. I didn't know it was called the Slip Goat, but okay. And it's just so muddy and so wet. I'm more mud skiing than running at the moment. Still had a ton of fun at the Ridge Runners Caerphilly 10K and took 9 minutes off my previous course PB. But I was definitely hindered by my lack of traction. I entirely blame my weird, annoying feet.
Yeah, it was the kind of race where you did need a little bit of traction this weekend because it was just absolutely soaked. It's a real shame, actually. 2 years ago, last time I worked on this race, there was one just big farmer's field, and I think it had basically been very recently ploughed and then had a week's worth of rain on it.
Is that the field?
It was so bad. And like there were people coming in with mud up to their elbows. It was that kind of one.
That one, because is that the year I did it? Was that you talking about last
year?
Yeah, that was honestly like a scene out of like Storming the Beaches of Normandy or something.
Yeah,
it was horrific. It was every man for themselves. You couldn't stop for too long because your feet would just sink, and people were falling, and then their hands were getting stuck. It was like something out of a horror film. It was
very, very good. Yeah, we really enjoyed that. But unfortunately, the last 2 years, I don't think anything's really happened with that field, and so it's just kind of grown a layer of grass over it. So it's kind of so it's been quite disappointing. It was wet still, but it wasn't that bad. It was one of the okay bits of the course, which is a real shame. Hopefully we'll go and knock on the door next time and ask the farmer to plough it up. Yeah. Just for fun.
El Druitt has also been in touch and said, "Hi Stu and Amy, running through mud is bullshit. Last weekend I thought I could be a real trail runner and run straight through a muddy section rather than pussyfooting around like those ahead of me. No, I went flying on my arse. The only good thing is mud is currently very soft and I have a big bum. Then 2 days later, I took a gentle skid over walking... Then 2 days later, I took a gentle skid over walking Mitch. Mitch is her dog, I believe. Not sort of some weird kinky relationship. As such, not feeling confident for the Caerphilly Trail 10K race. Race day... and falling over was the least of my worries as poor Mitch got attacked by a pack of dogs as we were helping set up for the race. Oh my goodness, that sucks. As such, we started back from the Canicross start as Mitch was anxious. But once we got going, Mitch enjoyed it, bar the mud and water. Again, I'm assuming Mitch is the dog.
Yeah, that is the dog on the cover of this podcast, giving us a sceptical look. That's Mitch.
He pulled me over every fallen tree, so I'm going to have great shin bruises. I fell in the river, but held it in a deep squat. Still got just as wet. And then Mitch pulled me down by the burnt-out car at the end.
Yeah, that was an exciting new feature towards the end of the course to run past. Because, it's Caerphilly, so...
Yeah. Overall, a wet, muddy, proper trail run. Great fun. Mitch loves wearing his multifunctional neck tube. Aww. And Elle also says, P.S. forgot to say the mud was knee-deep in parts. I expect waist-deep for Amy. Yeah.
I enjoy other people jumping into that joke because it's still very funny.
Yes. Oh, poor Mitch. I mean, I commend anyone that does Canicross for that race because Pippin would be pulling me over. I would be on my arse the whole way. I think I'd just sit and just hold on to her like some sort of weird ski-type situation.
there weren't many like real proper racing Canicross dogs. It was, people having a run with their dog kind of alongside or behind them. A lot of people were pulling the dogs rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
Some of them weren't that keen. But yeah, poor old Mitch just got attacked, about an hour before the race. But he still did it. And, he still came trotting up and he was still kind of okay with it. He was fine. But he was wearing his BS buff because he's a good boy. Ian Hale says, last weekend I ran Doynton hard half. That's funny. That's it. The race was definitely not bullshit. Muddy hills, splashing through rivers and downstreams, pulling yourself up steep riverbanks on a rope. That's a good thing.
No.
I love a rope. If there's a rope in a race because it's so steep, that's a very good thing.
God.
Absolutely brilliant day out, even if I couldn't walk the next day. Probably the best organised race I've ever run, with fantastic merch, including beer, and shots of gin at the drink stations. Oh, man. But on to the bullshit. This one's pretty graphic, so I won't hold a grudge if you don't read it out. Oh, we're reading this one out. As I was coming to the top of a hill at about 6 miles, one of the lovely marshals cheered me on. As I turned to say the obligatory thank you, Marshal, a deer sprang out of the bushes, jumped up to head height and hit the marshal straight in the back.
God.
There was a sickening crack as the deer broke its neck on the man's back.
Oh my God.
The marshal had dogs with him and his loyal friends defended him admirably, but that did mean 3 of us had to wrestle 2 angry dogs off the poor creature. The racer immediately behind me was a doctor and triaged the marshal, who was taken to hospital, and it sounded like he's broken his shoulder, but otherwise okay. The deer, not so much.
That's insane. What are the chances? That is absolutely insane. Why is the deer so close to all like a race happening and people?
And of all the places for it to jump out of, into this man's back, and then to break its neck on the man's back, and then the dogs just to go mental at it. That is,
my God.
What a story.
What are the chances of that?
That is so bizarre. Thank you so much. That is one of my favourite stories I've ever read out. That's amazing. He says, all in all, a pretty bullshit chapter in an otherwise brilliant race. No, but come on, the anecdote from that. Yeah. You can tell that story to so many people for years, and it'll always be good.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell people that story for years, and it'll still be good. He says, love the podcast, keep them coming. Yeah, we probably will. That's fine. As long as if people send us shit like that. Oh, that's amazing. That's some weird stuff.
Insane. On to the tea update.
Ooh.
We've partnered with Bird and Blend, which means we'll tell you what tea we're drinking. And if you like the sound of that, you can go to runningisbs.com/tea, click on the links and buy some tea if you want.
Somebody did reply to me last week and they said they didn't quite realise the name of the company is Bird and Blend. I think he just kind of thought it was Bird and Blend because we just say it really quickly because we forget people don't know what it is. But that's what it is, just to let you know. David Irwin also messaged the other week and said the aspect of the pod that worried me most was Amy referring to having a coffee by just putting on the kettle. Is that a coffee wanker thing that you're not allowed to have instant coffee?
When I read this, when I was reading through the notes, I'm like, oh, fuck off. Like, oh, sorry, I didn't say I'm like grinding the fucking beans and like measuring them on one of those like drug scales to make sure it's perfect. And then, no, I have a cafetiere, so it's not exactly just stirring it in a mug. But even if I was just stirring it in a mug, wind your neck in. Drink my coffee how I want.
It's only coffee. It's not going to be good anyway, so don't worry about it.
I have it in a cafetiere, and if you want to, I'm even less of a wanker, I drink Moomin coffee. I think I've talked about this before. My coffee is from the Moomin shop, and it's really nice, okay? It tastes like blueberries. And Snufkin and Snork Maiden have been out picking the ingredients for this coffee, apparently, according to the whimsical message on the back. So fuck off, that's my coffee.
Just something about you saying Snork Maiden just makes me really uncomfortable. I don't know why, but it's just horrible. Moomins are fucking gross, and Snork Maiden is disgusting, and I cannot tell you why.
That's her name.
That's a shit. Oh god.
Snork Maiden.
Fucking hate Moomins.
A Moomin.
So have you drunk any tea to make people click on our affiliate links? Or
yes, I have. I made the effort this time. I had a birthday cake matcha. I've given myself a treat matcha. It's not a punishment. I feel like I did good today. I feel like I could have stopped at 9 miles when I got back to the car, but I persevered, and I feel like that deserves a little treat. I did look at the punishment matcha. I was thinking like, oh god damn it, I'm gonna make a ginger nut matcha, like see how you like that, Amy. But no, I thought no, treat yourself nicely. birthday cake matcha. And it's nice. It's kind of a bit sweet. It's birthday cake matcha. It's fine.
There we go, nice.
What are you drinking?
Had a little gingerbread chai earlier, which was very nice. And then just as we started this podcast, I had a caramelized biscuit tea, which is a black tea. Basically kind of tastes a bit like a Biscoff it's supposed to. Not sure if it does. But again, it's one of those kind of black teas that mostly tastes like a black tea. So it's kind of a good starter. Different, weird tea. Quite nice. Check out those if you want.
Yeah. It's the bullshit run in news. Of course, you've probably seen Barkley Marathons happened earlier than usual. Nobody won.
That's it, really.
Who cares? Blah, blah, blah.
There was like before,
I should have prepped better. Who was it? Who there was all those social media posts, and it was like somebody started a lap without their shoes on. I can't
Damien
remember who it
Hall
was.
started his third lap without shoes, and that's just fucking stupid.
Well, it was his big thing, and then you clicked through, and he had a reason for it. He did have his shoes. He was going to put his shoes on, but he had to cross a river. I can't remember what the reason was, but it wasn't that exciting. So everyone's like, he's going to do the lap barefoot. He wasn't. He had his shoes off for a reason, and he was going to put them back on. But that's
like a famously thorny course. There's no chance of him doing that.
No. He's like, he's going to do it barefoot. I'm like, I don't think so. I think he's.
And didn't you message me that morning as well? Like, I've heard harder skeezer is the the sacrifice this year. I'm like, there's no evidence of that. Where did you find that? It's just you making shit up.
It was just somebody on X. Somebody on X said it. I was like, oh my god, but no. And then I checked Hardest Geezer's social media, and no, he's not. He wasn't there. I just think it wasn't particularly interesting this year. Nobody won because the conditions were really bad because it was February. So, yeah.
I'm kind of over it. It's kind of the same each year now, isn't it?
I know. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Slightly more interesting. So, a climber has survived a 1,500-foot fall. So he survived the fall, and then he ran 4 miles for help. That's mad. So Callum Lond plunged more than 1,500 feet off, and now it's Goat Fell Mountain. That sounds pretty badass. On, do you say Arran? Is this
Arran.
Like a Arran?
Scottish
on
island.
Arran, which is like a Scottish island, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he fell due to icy conditions, and although he managed to break his descent at points by clinging to the rocks, he eventually dropped onto a grassy marsh. And he only realised the extent of his injuries when he encountered a woman and her daughter having left a trail of blood along a hiking trail. God, that must have been like pure adrenaline. He must have been literally running on pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
So he was taken to hospital. He was treated for his injuries, and he only suffered superficial burns, a chipped ankle. What the fuck?
Wait, a chipped ankle? That's...
Oh.
Don't like the sound of that.
Oh. And an injured shin.
Yeah.
But, I guess that's quite tame. A chipped ankle, though, that makes me cringe a bit.
The burns was interesting, because I saw a photo, and I'm not sure if it was like his bum or back of his thigh or something. I guess he must have just been sliding for so long down the side, quite steep, that he actually got slightly burnt. Oh.
Yeah, it must have been pure adrenaline, though. Just leaving a trail of blood. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, I think you managed to turn up somewhere with, obviously just like covered in shit and blood, and people were like, oh God. Like, imagine just in your little cafe or wherever it was, and just someone walks in like that.
Well, me going to Asda after my long run.
Yeah,
that's
that's just,
I'm walking in.
If anyone lives around near you, that's just kind of normal for them, I guess.
Trail of blood all around me.
Yeah, horrible. Don't fuck around in mountains. No. There wasn't a huge amount of running news this week. There was this one, which was fantastic. It's not the usual article we would look for, but thanks to @the_Mrs. on Twitter for sending us this. The headline is 7 surprising signs you're heading for divorce. Not ask. Mrs. Mogg may be becoming Ms. Mogg soon. I don't know. So some of these, your kind of classics, things like you stop arguing, you don't say thank you anymore, and one of you goes to bed early every night. One of these, I think the 6th out of the 7, is you take up ultramarathons.
That's so specific.
It really is. Like, whoever this person is that wrote this has been wronged, clearly.
Yeah.
I think the point they make is about 3 paragraphs on it, and I think it's actually more about obsessive hobbies generally.
Yeah.
But just to include that very specifically, because all the other ones are fairly broad relationshipy things, and then you start doing ultras. But I think it's that point of when you start doing stuff on like triathlons and things like that to the detriment of your relationship and to events. When you stop, be like, I can't go to your brother's birthday because I've got a long run and stuff like that is when it starts getting bad. But my favourite part of it is psychotherapist Una Metz advises looking for compromise. Instead of ultramarathons, can the runner just do marathons? Just do a marathon, because they're really easy, aren't they? Because they only take like half the time.
Yeah, but because like an ultra marathon is just anything over a marathon. So you might as well, if you train for a marathon, you might as well train for an ultra.
I mean, the training is very much the same. Like most people, if you're training for a 50 miler, a lot of people don't do runs over 22 miles or something like that.
No.
Which is probably what you do for a marathon. So I just like the way, like, just do a marathon. Just really easy. You only need to go out, twice a week or something?
Oh my goodness.
Una has no idea, clearly.
Yeah. I think you've just got to, like, I don't know. I'm not sure about this. I kind of get it. I kind of get if somebody's like you say, like, not going to like important events and stuff like that. But at the same time, I mean, if you've got kids, I think it's different as well. Like if the labour's not divided well, but that can happen even without a hobby. A hobby can just be a way to avoid childcare. But at the same time, you got to be your own individual people as well, and you've got to have your own hobbies. You don't have to be joint to the hip the entire time. And actually, like when I'm on my runs, I'm yapping to Freya half the time. I'm the whole time. She wants me to go. I'm calling her and literally yapping her ears off for hours on my runs. And sometimes she's like, I'm just gonna go, and I've got some other things I need to do. And she's like putting the phone down on me because I'm just talking too much. So I think Freya wants me to disengage a bit more.
I think it's probably because like you can talk at her, and because you can't see her, she can sit there being like rolled on her eyes and giving it the yap gesture with her hand, being like, bloody hell. But if you were at home, she couldn't really do that as much.
No, exactly. I had a bit of an embarrassing moment. Well, not embarrassing for me, but I sort of took on the embarrassment earlier when I was doing my 6-mile death march. And I'm on the phone to Freya, I'm yapping away, and often people will like really stare at me because they do think I'm talking to myself, especially when I'm just out on the trails. Like when I lived in Cardiff and I was in Cardiff, no one sort of batted an eyelid, either because they were more used to the technology in the big city, or it wasn't unusual to see somebody.
And there's a lot of crackheads around, so they probably just thought you were one of them.
But when I'm out on the trails around here, people like properly look at me when I'm talking, and most of the time I don't care. But I went past these two women out for a walk, and as usual I was just like, oh, morning. And then as I went past, Freya was getting Finley to like talk to me on the phone and was listening to me. Stuff. And I said, like, oh, does he recognise my voice, like that? And the women behind me replied to me. I don't know what she said, but she said it like at me, like something about, oh, I thought you were this. Like, I don't know what she said, but she was very blatantly shouting like back at me, like she was talking to me. And I just felt like, oh no, somebody thinks I'm talking to them. But also, what do they think, like, what sort of conversations they think we're having? And I felt really embarrassed, but I thought, no, you should feel embarrassed. I'm not talking to you, I'm on the phone. Like, so yeah, that was a bit of a weird moment.
Sure. The divorce ultra thing, it happened the other way around for me. My ex-wife did say a few times, if you ever do an ultra, I'm divorcing you.
Oh my God.
It turns out she did anyway. And then like a few months later, after I'd moved out, when I entered my first ultra, I sent her the screenshot and saying, well, since we got divorced, might as well do an ultra.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good way to do it. Might as well.
That's a bit of an ultimatum, isn't it? If you run an ultra, like, I will divorce you. Like,
it may or may not have been serious, I'm not sure. But I'm like, well, since we are divorced, now I can go do an ultra. So there we go.
I don't know. I think it's not the ultras. If you're going to avoid doing stuff with your partner, childcare, all that sort of thing, you're going to find a way to do it, you know? Yeah. You're just going to find a way to do it. You can get up, like you can go train, you can get up at 5 a.m. and go train, and if you're not like me and super slow, you can be back and still spend just as much time. Like it doesn't, you know, you can do it in ways that don't interrupt your life.
Sure. Well, all the links from those stories are available in the pod description.
Stuart, what have you got coming up next? Are you going to, I don't know, get threatened divorce over running ultramarathons? I don't know. I've lost the plot a bit on this one.
I mean, not married and don't want to do ultras, and no. I've got cross country again next week. Don't worry, it's the last one of the season, so I'll stop talking about it. And my A race this season is the Newport 10K. I've realised it's just 2 months away. I do want to do well at it, so I probably need to do some actual running. So I thought today it'd be a good idea to run more than 10K, which I basically don't ever do. I haven't done for like 6 months. So I thought that's probably a good idea. So I might have to do some actual speed session soon because I want to be one of the fast boys, by which I mean really not very fast at all, but quite fast for me. Amy, what are you doing?
I've only got a few more long runs left. It's actually coming around really quickly, and it's coming around quickly because I didn't give myself enough time to train for this ultra. I've got the Bowen, the 30 miler, so I think I've only got like 3 weeks left of long runs, so that's what I've got coming up. I've got long runs, that's it, so nothing. Easy. And then it's the Bowen. So yeah, that's it.
Cool, good for you. Well, thanks everyone. We got rid of the outro, so now I don't know how to end this.
Bye.
Snork Maiden is disgusting, and I cannot tell you why.